Today we will speak about ETL in context of Hadoop. So first, why use an ETL, a graphical ETL here? First, ETL stands for extract, transform, and loading. So it will help you to get the data, put this somewhere, and do some transformation. In the context of Hadoop, Hadoop is quite complex. There is a lot of framework, and the BI consultants that want try to get some value from the Hadoop cluster has not the skills to do it by themselves. So goal here is to provide a graphical tool to be able to use your big data cluster. And Talend is one of the ETL product. So yes, just this slide is just to to illustrate that when you work on big data, on partitioning, on grid computing, you should partition your data. You should know what is a map, a reducer. If you want to optimize, what is a combiner, etc., etc. So there is plenty concept, quite complex to leverage. And in fact, with Talend, you will just drag and drop some component to say, I want to deduplicate my data, I want aggregate, I want sort my data. And behind the scene, in fact, Talend will generate some code that is either pure Java MapReduce code or some Hadoop framework like Pig or Hive. In big data architecture, so we just saw a presentation, nice presentation about Spago BI. So Spago BI will be at the end, and we'll be able to extract the data to show the data to the user. At the beginning, for sure, there is data sources. For example, the Twitter feed. It can be machine generated data where you are orange, so it can be CDR, for example. And in the middle, you need to collect this data. You need to cleanse in. You need to enrich the data, to process the data on the grid. And for data quality, we have two ways to implement it on a big data project. Either at the beginning through the pipeline before load the data in the big data cluster, or inside the big data cluster to leverage the big data, to leverage the big data architecture. So the first way is, in fact, the ETL will become EDQL. So that means, in fact, you will take the data from the sources, you will improve it, cleanse it, and load it on your big data cluster. And advantage here is you can have like a data quality firewall. So before put the data inside the cluster, you will be able to fix the issue and to not put any bad quality in your information system. So you should have in mind that bad quality is like a virus. When it's inside your information system, it's very complex to eliminate, to remove. But sometimes we need to leverage the power that the big data cluster will give you. So it will be also interesting for some cases to put the data quality inside the cluster. So that means you should generate MapReduce code to be able to use the Hadoop platform to do the data quality. And for example, when you want to do matching, it's some algorithm very complex, and that need a lot of power. So for that, it's better to do it inside the grid. So there is no an answer to say you should do data quality before put your data on your Hadoop cluster or inside your Hadoop cluster. It will depend if you need the power of your cluster to do the data quality. Let's speak more about Hadoop. So Hadoop, there is a lot of components. The two main components are HDFS. So HDFS stands for Hadoop Distributed File System. So it's a scalable, reliable distributed storage. On top of that, to do processing, you have MapReduce, and we will see just an example just after. And after, you can have some framework that will help you, in fact, to do to not have to write pure MapReduce code. And this framework are Pig. It's like Pig Latin is like a script, and Hive it's like SQL. It's not SQL, but it's very close to SQL. You have also metadata services that is quite new, still in the incubator at Apache, called HCatalog. And the goal of HCatalog is to give you whatever you use, HDFS, MapReduce, Hive, or Pig, common metadata, and to be able to do data lineage, impact analysis, or stuff like that. And you have also some other component like HBase for a NoSQL database, or Oozie to be able to provision and schedule your MapReduce job. And in fact, at Talend, since April 2010, we add more and more components. So at the beginning, we do only the HDFS connector to be able to get the data from, let's say, from a database and put it on Hadoop, or to get the data from Hadoop and put it, let's say, on a database. And after we enhance and we support more and more framework like Scoop, for example, to do bulk load or fast export between Hadoop and a database, support HBase and NoSQL, or generate Pig, Hive, or pure Java MapReduce. One stuff very important is, in fact, with our tooling, it's only a tooling, only for the guys that will design the job. But on the runtime, you will not have Talend code. In fact, it will be just the generated code, for example, the Java code generated by Talend that you will put on your runtime. And you don't need a Talend runtime. So you just need your Hadoop distribution, whatever you choose, Cloudera or ThoughtWorks or Mapper or Pivotal or all the distribution you perhaps already know. And we have also some new component for Mahout. So Monica spoke a little bit with Mahout, and it was developed by Altic, who will do a presentation just after us, just after me, sorry. So just an idea about what is MapReduce. On Hadoop, the first example, the hello world, is in fact the word count. So that means you give a file with a lot of words, for example, the Bible, and you should just count how many times you have each word. And to do that, so thanks this example, you will understand what is MapReduce. So for example, I have only 2 files on 2 servers, 2 data nodes. And each file has 2 lines, and each line has 3 words. So it's very simple example just to understand how it works. So the first step, for example, will be to create map, and map with tokenize the data. That means you will want to just split your data word by word, and each time you have a word, you will emit a key value with the name of the word on 1. So for the first row, for example, for the first map, you have apple, orange, and mango, and you will just emit apple 1, orange 1, mango 1. If you take the last one, for example, you have 2 times apple, and plum, and you will just generate, the map will just tokenize and generate apple 1, and plum 1. So it's quite easy. And after the map, all this map step, you will have a certain shuffle to get all the apple at the same location, all the mango at the same location, etc., etc. And you will be able to do your reduce. And you will do the reduce, for example, for all the apple, and you will be able to count how many apple you have. And you will be generate the output that said apple 4 times, grape 1 time, mango 2 times, orange 2 times, plum 3 times. So this is the very basic, the very initial use case about MapReduce. So, and it's very simple here, but you have after a lot of new concepts, other concepts to, for example, decrease the network usage. Instead of moving all the Apple together on one location, you will be able to do, for example, intermediate reducer, intermediate calculation, intermediate aggregation on locally on some map, on some data node, for example. So there is after a lot of other concepts. And to write this with Hadoop, so either you can write MapReduce in Java, so implement a map method, a reduce method, and create a job that will instantiate these two methods. Or with an ETL, you will be able to just drag and drop some component to say, I want read my data from HDFS, I want tokenize my data, I want count the number of words, and I want put the output on my on another file, my result. So this is all the additional value of ETL on Hadoop, and that's all.